Hello there guys, it's time for Rivals. In fact, I'm a little bit late. I got distracted by motorbikes and shit. Right, I know it's on Fortune Island, I know it's B class, and I know it's a dirt track, but I can't remember what it is, so I've got to go and have a look on my home screen. Come on then, let's pop on down to the club and see where it is. Right, this is it. Dirt Race Rivals, North Cliff Scramble. Right, let's have a look then. North Cliff Scramble. So pop yourself over to Fortune Island, go into Rivals, get yourself on dirt, and find, oh hang on, no. Cliffside Scramble, Hilltop, North Cliff Scramble, there it is. 1.2 miles, nice and short track, and it's a B class. Right, I don't know what cars I've got in B class that would be suitable for this. I tell you, that Ford RS 200 thing, I'd quite like to change the tune on that, get that down to a B class. Who's in here so far? Oh, a lot of people using the Manx. Have we done this one before? Oh no, that's just everybody. Well, that's a lot of people compared to normal. Let's get to Club and Friends. They've added a new filter, which is Club and Friends. That never used to be here. So we've got 4 people on the board. A Shelby Daytona. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere near that because it's a fucking nightmare. Let's get my headphones on. Right. Turn the TV down a little bit. That's better. So the Manx, the Mini, and the Shelby Daytona. I quite like the Manx actually, and it reminds me of my days at university. I've told you loads of stories about the Manx that James used to have, that we used to drive about in around Norwich City Centre with our water pistols out the back, shooting people until we shoot some police, and then they pulled us over and James got in a lot of trouble because me and Adi were being twats. Right, so I'm going to take Express Trash 382. You're on 58.755. That sounds pretty quick. In fact, when I look at the rest of the times on the board, it is quick. We've got Daz on there with a 56.3. Now, if Daz has got a 56.3, I ain't going to get a 58.7, am I? But we need a rival. Right, let's have a look at our car options then. I don't know if I've got a good tune on a B class. I really don't think that I've really used a B class much. Let's have a look. Right. Oh, look at that. I mean, I'd have to get a tune on it because it's only a 621, but it is a beautiful car, isn't it? Don't want any of them. Although maybe that Cosworth. But again, it would need a tune. I can't bother to go and tune anything. I'm just hoping I've got something that's already been tuned from some previous racing in B class. Hang on, what the fuck? These ain't B class. Oh yeah, they are. Ah, I just glanced at the top and saw S1 class. I thought, what's going on? That's the car I'm in right now. So that's, ignore that. I don't think I've ever driven this, but I should. Well, I have got the, this has obviously got a decent tune on it because it's on a B700, so I might actually go with that. It's a lot easier to control than that nightmare of a car. Yeah, that at the moment is my choice. I'll have a look what I've got on the Mini and the Manx. Hey, where are they? M. I bet I've got some of a tune on it. I can't be bothered to go and change it. Oh, Mini's in there. Oh, it's not the bloody little doofer Mini though, is it? It's the John Cooper, I don't want that. And I ain't got the Manx either. That's obviously got a different tune on. So we're going to be going with the Daytona then. Where are you? S. Shelby. There you are. Right, we're having this one. We're going to be going with this. I don't like this car, but I have driven it quite a lot when I was struggling on Rivals before. So I should be used to it now. And I'm on a wheel, so that should make a bit of difference. Let's get my chair in the right position. Ooh. Right, that feels a bit weird. I've got this big mat underneath the wheel because it was making too much noise and downstairs complained. It's a bit spongy. Don't feel right. Let's just get my headphones with my in the right place. I'm gonna drag them onto the floor there, so I've just got to put something to balance them on because the lead's a little bit too short. Right, I'm ready. Right, what we got our settings on then? Right, first things first, let's turn this silly bullshit off. I hate how you have to do this every single time you start the game. It's really annoying. I will never play the game in streamer mode off. Difficulty settings. Should we have gears? Let's have some gears. Right, manual. Driver line. We'll put that on for the time being because we don't know the track yet. Traction and stability off and off. Steering normal. ABS on. We'll put rewind on because it's just bloody annoying when it's off. Even though you get slightly less credits, that'll do. Come on then, let's have a look. Don't know if I've ever done this track before, don't think I have. Oh, I've got gears, haven't I? I completely forgot. I have to change gear. Right, we might be turning these gears off. Ah, this car's horrible. Yeah, hang on, I'm not having gears. There's too much to think about with these dirt races where cars go all over the place. Oh, for fuck's sake. Can I just do restart event and it'll let me choose again? I don't know if it does or not. I really hope it does. I'm also a little bit too close. My pedals are a bit too close. Ah, good. Right, difficulty settings. Right, do the gears for me, please. No, not that one. That's the one. Thank you. Come on, then. I really struggle with this car. We're going to be doing quite a lot of sliding as well, so I'm tempted to switch over to the other view because when you're sort of drifting around corners and stuff, the other view's a little bit easier than this one. But I've been playing Dirt 4, so I should be good at this. Dirt 4 is brilliant. I really like it. Really do like it. Oh my god. It's probably one of the most accessible rally games out because rally games are really, really hard. But I'm doing alright on Dirt 4. I'm playing on, automatic gears. But I've reconfigured my shifter, you know, like just behind the steering wheel. I've reconfigured that as my handbrake. So now, what you'd normally do to change up gear, I've been using as my handbrake, and it's really good. It's so nice. Right, obviously this is a warm-up. Thank you very much for choosing yet another track, which is not just an A to B, so I can just do loads and loads and loads of laps. You know that's what I like. The car feels a bit loose. I actually did do some driving on Dirt 4 with the with gears as well. I played gears for quite a long time, but I do like using the shifter as a handbrake as well, and you can't do both, can you? So one had to give, and the gears gave, because I was having a lot of fun with the handbrake. I did have it as my clutch pedal for a bit. I tried that, turned my clutch pedal into a handbrake. It just gets a little bit confusing and a little bit much on the old feet, so I switched it back. But it doesn't really work as a button on the steering wheel. You can't get to it enough. It's not like very easily accessible. I don't think the buttons on the steering wheel when you're trying to drive around a rally stage. Oh my god, this ain't going well, is it? I reckon I could do this better with a controller than the steering wheel. It's quite demanding on a steering wheel when you're doing these stages. It's a lot more difficult, but it's a lot more fun. No, alright, let's focus. Just try and stay with him a little bit. Oh, we've messed it up. Control. Just the power out of this snaky snake. Right, we're on a 109. That's only 11 seconds off on a lap that's less than 1 minute. That's fucking awful, isn't it? but I'm not expecting to be able to match this time. This is somebody who is considerably better than me. God almighty, this car's a nightmare. Got to turn in really early on it because it does slide around quite a lot. I think that's the... Oh, that's a big corner. Ah. What's my view change button? Let's have a crack on... what is view change? Oh, it's that one. Right, let's have a crack on this view, which I think when you're sliding around is slightly easier. This mat thing that I've got on my pedals is making them slide about a little bit. It's not very good. This is really difficult. But yeah, I know this car ain't the best for me. It might be fast, but it's very hard to control. Pedals, stop moving around. This mat is too spongy. There's a lot of give in it, and I'm not enjoying it. Right, I might pop a tune on an easier to drive car. I've got a very clean back window. Oh, where is my handbrake? What's handbrake on this game? It's B, isn't it? Or is it A? Checkpoint missed. Just teleport me. Alright, handbrake is B then. Shows how long it's been since I've played this. It doesn't make you go faster, but it is fun. All this feels so weird. Go back in cockpit view. This just feels a little bit weird, but I am having a lot of trouble controlling this car. Try and keep it steady. This view now feels like I'm driving a remote control car and I'm behind it with the controller. That's how it feels now. It just doesn't feel like I'm in the car at all, which I'm not. I'm floating behind it, having an out-of-body experience. Probably because I'm about to crash and kill myself. So far in front so quickly. That's insane how you can be over 10 seconds behind on such a short track. That is absolutely insane. But yeah, it's very difficult on the wheel, this one. I'm glad that I'm getting into Dirt 4 because Dirt 5 looks fucking amazing. I've got to say, of all the quote unquote gameplay reveal that we had the other day, the only thing that I think looked really good was Dirt 5. We really weren't all that interested in any of the rest of it. I'm really pissed off that the next Assassin's Creed is Vikings. That doesn't appeal to me at all. It really doesn't. I'm loving Odyssey with the Greeks, and I'm also really looking forward to Origins. I've got it, I ain't started playing it yet, but yeah, the Egyptians, that appeals to me as well. But Vikings, I mean, they're my ancestors because my name is Anglo-Saxon. I would have come from the Viking invasion of England. That's where my ancestry comes from. So some ancestor of mine, some great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was probably raped by a big hairy Viking that came over and raped and pillaged my ancestors' hometown, because that's where my lineage is in Vikings. But they don't interest me in the slightest. I'm really not interested in a Viking version of Assassin's Creed. I'll probably get it just because it's next gen, isn't it? And I'll certainly be getting the next gen console. And probably the new PlayStation as well, because there are exclusives on the PlayStation that I always think look nice, and I'm always a little bit jealous of them. So I'll probably end up with both. But yeah, what's it? Dirt 5 just looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it? It really does. And they did actually show some gameplay of Dirt 5, which is nice. Vampire Masquerade, the new one of them, they showed a bit of gameplay of that. I didn't think it looked that much different to the old one. In fact, I didn't think many of the things they revealed looked that much better than what we've currently got, really. I mean, Dirt 5 looked good, but it wasn't spectacularly better than what we're looking at right now. I mean, it was very good though, wasn't it? Let's be honest, it looked good. But it's not so much the graphics. Well, it is. I'm not having a fucking spunkathon over ray tracing like everybody else is. That's not really such a big deal. I don't care if Minecraft looks a tiny little bit different because the lava in the distance is reflecting off the wall. That's not that exciting, and there's so many people just fucking really creaming their pants over ray tracing. It's a bit ridiculous, really. It's like become the buzzword of the next console, ain't it? For me, it's load times. That's what it's about. It's about switching between games instantly, like they promised us with Xbox One, and like we used to be able to do. You used to be able to play a game and you'd go and play something else and you'd go back to what you were on before, and it was directly where you left off. You jumped straight back into the action. And now that don't really happen anymore, does it? You put your game back on that you were playing half hour ago and it starts again from the beginning. You're like, what the fuck? I was playing this half hour ago. Why aren't I where I was? So yeah, that used to happen, and they seem to have taken that away from us. Another thing I really liked, which we used to have, was the ability to have not really split screen, but an app on the side. I used to use that a lot. I used it for music and stuff, and I found it very useful. And then they took away that ability, which really pissed me off. The other thing I quite liked was the fact that I had a Kinect. And then they took away the connector for the Kinect, and they tried to sell us an adapter for stupid money for a bit of wire, which I thought was a bit bang out of order, really. Yeah, quite a lot of stuff that was on the 2015 release of the Xbox kind of disappeared gradually over time without us noticing. And now they're reintroducing it on the Sexbox. That's why they're all creaming over ray tracing, because it's a Sexbox. But yeah, I'm not that bothered about ray tracing. Yes, it looks nice. Does it make a huge amount of difference? No, not really. Would we prefer to have really, really silky smooth 120 frames per second gameplay? Of course we would. And no loading times whatsoever? Yeah, that's what we want. No loading times. I mean, like, no loading times. Not just quick loading times, just none at all. Like the old Atari used to be in the 1980s, where you stick a cartridge in, you turn it on, and it's ready. No fannying about, waiting for something to load. I wonder if the new Forza will still... you enjoying this ride in the countryside? I should perhaps speed up a little bit and try and put down a good time. What was I going to say? What was I talking about? What was I bitching about? Right, we'd had a moan about ray tracing. We started talking about the Atari. When games used to load instantly, when they were like smaller than one thumbnail is these days. A couple of kilobytes and that's it, you got a game. My brother used to write games for the Specky, and he was so strict on his code. Every byte he could save, like all of his, he wrote in machine code, and all of his variables and everything were always 1 byte long. They were just one character. You couldn't read any of his code. None of it made any sense. No variables had names that you could remember what they meant or anything like that. It was shockingly terrible. But if he could save a single byte by using one less character on his type, then he did it. He was so efficient with his programming. He really was. He wrote some quite nice games actually. But then he jacked it all in when he was about, like, I don't know, like about 20. He stopped doing it. He did it for a while, then he stopped. But what got him into it originally, we'd got like a ZX80 and then a Specky 16K and a 48K. We used to get the magazines, and Codemasters used to... the guys from Codemasters, when they was in... just the brothers in Leamington Spa, weren't it? They used to put like code in the magazines that you could copy into your computer. And write out the game, and you'd end up with something like Space Invaders or something. So that's what got him started. But then he actually started writing his own little games, and they were pretty good. Some nice little addictive platformers and things. only for me and him. He never even submitted them to the magazines or anything. It was just for us to play, but they were good. So yeah, I always expected him to get really good at that sort of stuff, but he never did. He never pursued programming at all. I did. I could only program in BASIC. We used to go into the computer shops where they had all like the, like, at the time it was like the Speccy 128K and the Plus and that sort of time, and they had them all set up in the shop on the screen. But you could access them. You could write little programs. So I used to write little drawing programs and things to make shit appear on the screen and things like that. Usually rude words, or just use like a plot and draw program to draw a penis, and then make it continue drawing penises. And they couldn't turn it off unless they shut down the machine. So I used to do that a lot. But I do program now, PHP, HTML and JavaScript. But I wrote a couple of little tiny games just in JavaScript. I did like a tarot reading type thing. And I also did a few things like that. It's like I had a website that was like a psychic fair. So you know, like the Zener cards where you have square, circle, triangle, three wavy lines and all that, like on Ghostbusters, where Dan Aykroyd is trying to pull the girl and is electrocuting her boyfriend, or the other, I don't know whether they're boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't think they are. Anyway, I made one of those where you have to psychically guess what the card is, and then it reveals itself, and it's very, very simple to do, but it was nice at the time. Made my website quite popular. Long time ago. And then I did for a while program apps on the App Store for Apple, and I only did a couple. They got on the App Store, they sold, which was all right. One of them was just a video player, and it enabled you to do like an A/B repeat on a loop, and you could change the speed. Now the reason I made it is because at the time I was doing Tai Chi, and I was doing like Lee family Tai Chi, learning like the first 50 steps of the form, and I thought it'd be really handy if I could slow it down and put it on a loop, each section that I'm learning. So I made that app basically for me, but I submitted it to the App Store, and it did sell quite well while it was on the App Store. It was all right, made a bit of money out of it, and it was quite handy as well. And then I also made a calculator app, and it had like little hidden features. You know how you can write things on a calculator and then turn it upside down, like boobs and things like that? Well, on my little calculator app, if you wrote like boobs, which would be 58008, and then you turned your iPhone upside down, it would flash some boobs on the screen. And I did it with all of the things you could write. I tried to work out all the things you could write on a calculator, and I had them with everything. So we had shell oil, and it flashed up the picture of some oil, but only if you turned it upside down, which I quite liked. It was a bit of fun. It was just a sort of, I don't know, sort of testing my skills. And then if you did something that gave the calculator an error, you know how normally it does ERR on a calculator? Well, it was done like an old-fashioned calculator. The graphics were like a liquid crystal display at the top. But if you did something that would cause an error, I'd got like a picture of a broken liquid crystal display that looked really fucking realistic, and it would make that appear on the screen. Like, it really looked like you just broke the screen of your phone. It was very, very effective. So yeah, I had those two apps on the App Store. I did start writing another one, which was a map designer for Clash of Clans, because at the time Clash of Clans was very popular, but it didn't have the map thing that it's got now. You couldn't edit your little world at all. You could just shift stuff around. So people used to like pile all the stuff up on one side of the map and then try and organise it. So what I made was an app that like enabled you to do base designs on Clash of Clans, but I never released it on the App Store. And then Clash of Clans had an update and actually had that app designer in anyway, so that made my app completely redundant, which is why I never released it. It was just the timing was off. I did a few little things. I'd like to get back into programming actually, apps. I've recently purchased the Creative Cloud Suite from Adobe, and I've been having a look at Adobe XD, which I've never seen before, but holy fuck, that piece of software is so easy to use to make really nice little UIs for apps. So since I've had that, I've been considering making some apps again. Thought it might be a little bit of fun getting back into it. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. I can't at the moment because I need to do work on my business. So that comes first. But once my business is at the level where I don't have to think about it anymore, which it will be soon, then I am going to get back into making apps because I really enjoyed it. And I've got a load of ideas of ones that I want to make. Every time I have an idea, I'll write it down. I've got quite a book full now, so I will make them. None of them are too ambitious. They're all within my capabilities. But now I've got that bloody Adobe XD app, not app, the program on it's a 2020 version of Creative Cloud. So now I've got that. I think I'm going to be able to do stuff a lot more impressive than I did before, and a lot fucking easier as well. That takes a lot of the code you'd normally have to do just to do transitions and stuff, and to map out your, you know, like the progression through your app. It's all done for you. It's just like, just drag stuff and connect it together. It's so fucking easy. If you're interested in doing something like that, or even just a, you know, like a very, very phone-friendly website, it'd be good for that as well. It is good, very good, very impressed with it. I can't wait to dig into it a little bit deeper. And the new Photoshop's good as well. There's stuff that I use quite a lot on Photoshop, like cutting things out to change backgrounds and things for making book covers. I spend like half an hour doing that shit. Now you just press one button. It's amazing. It just does it for you in seconds. It does a pretty good job as well. You have to tidy it up a little bit and tweak a couple of settings, but I mean, within 2 minutes, you can have done to a very high standard what used to take me like 25 minutes. And I mean, I've got design skills. That's what I did at university, so I'm not slow at that kind of shit. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, it's the new Photoshop. I think last year's as well. I think the 2019 version did it as well. Just like remove background. It's really fucking impressive. So yeah, I've been since I got the new Creative Cloud, I've been watching videos on what all the new programs can do. I was like, oh, fuck me, this is good. This is going to open up loads of opportunities for me. Right, we're still only on a 110, so we're doing really shit. How can I be so far behind? I knew I weren't going to compete, really. I didn't expect to be as bad as this. Let's try harder, shall we? Oh, already he's away from me. Oh, this is my trying harder. It's my worst one so far. I've had a lot of clean laps though, haven't I? Which is pretty good. God, I'm losing control. Ah. Stop. What's that over there? Is it a lake or just a drop? Oh, it's just a drop. It's the sea. Quite a pretty fortune island. I've never, ever come on here. I haven't done anything at all. All I've done is like one of the initial... You get on here and there's like 3 races you got to do to start off. I've done one of them. I did... I can't remember which one it was.